Welcome back to Geek Philosophy. Today we are going to welcome back the Brown Bomber himself, Harlem's hero, Luke Cage, back for season 2 on Netflix. Check it now if you haven't seen it yet. We're just going to do a quick review on it. We're going to talk about the cast, story, effects, and binge-worthy. Alright? So, first off, let's start off with the cast. And they brought a lot of the cast back, including Michael Coulter as Luke Cage, Simone, Rossi as Shades, Alfre Woodard, and honestly, they do great in what they do. I have no complaints on the acting ability of any of these people. They bring their 101% game every time, and we got a couple new people, new actors and actresses come into the mix, like Gabrielle, who played Tilda Johnson, and you also have the star, which I feel like he stole the star, which is Mustafa Shakar, who plays Bushmaster. Great cast, great chemistry, and honestly, I can't say enough about the cast. They really keep me engaged, and they really stay true to each person's character as far as their acting ability. And we'll get into other things as we talk about story, so let's get into it. Story-wise, it's great. It really comes back to Luke Cage being back after the Defenders. He is exonerated of all his crimes that happened last season. He's no longer in jail. He's on the streets protecting Harlem, and Harlem has made him more of a public figure. So you see a lot of the social media being involved, like tweets and My Hero app or Harlem's Hero app to locate him wherever he is, since he doesn't wear a mask. And he's back facing off against the criminal underworld of Harlem. And that includes a lot of different people this time, including his old enemy, Black Maria, who's played by Alfre Woodard. And then you have a new villain around, which is Bushmaster, who's pretty much in charge of a Jamaican gang called the Yardies or the Stylers. So, really, Bushmaster is here to right a wrong. He wants to get back what he felt like was taken from him, and he's really going after Luke Cage and Black Mariah because he feels like, one, Black Mariah has some deep history with his family, and Luke Cage, just because they said Luke Cage was faster than Usain Bolt, is the reason he came after him. But he does have powers. Bushmaster does have powers, which make him super strong, super fast, and near invulnerable. Doesn't make him completely invulnerable, but makes him near invulnerable, which makes it an interesting dynamic as he faces off with Luke Cage, who has most of those things too, except he's completely indestructible. But let's face it, his skin is completely indestructible, but the insides aren't. You really get to see that dynamic, because once you say, you bulletproof, it's really hard to keep the audience entertained with someone that's near invulnerable unless you go ahead and bring a new element in. And Bushmaster definitely brings that different element in. And we see some other special casts from the shared universe, like Danny Rand, Iron Fist, Colleen Wing, and Foggy Nelson. All of them come back and make their appearance on the show, which just adds to the world. The story does very well in the beginning. I think it takes a little bit of a turn towards the end. I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's more of a Shadowland type, Daredevil Shadowland type of story at the end. But you got a lot of good Easter eggs as you're going through, and you have a lot of hope in the beginning. You see his frustration, and then you see a little bit more optimism, especially when he's interacting with Danny Rand. And it made me feel like, every time I saw that episode, especially, I was like, man, we need a Hero for Hire series. Like, Luke Cage was great, and they're coming out with a season 2 for Iron Fist. I think Iron Fist was a lower tier out of the group, but I think with his dynamic with Luke Cage, it felt like this should be a thing. Just go ahead and make a Heroes for Hire series on Netflix or on Disney's new streaming service whenever they come up with it. You never know. But great story. Again, you get to see the ups and downs of the character. The effects it's a Netflix series. It's good. It's only so much you can do with super strength and bullets bouncing off of you. So you can't really get too much of that much special effects. especially when he's facing off against other superpowered people. But as far as for a Netflix series, it did pretty well. I enjoyed it. Binge worthy is like the most important thing when it comes to a Netflix series, and it was definitely binge worthy. I was able to watch it within a day. You go back to back to back. It leaves you a little bit of cliffhangers at each episode to make you come back and make you need to see the next one. And I think that's what Marvel's shows do the best. It didn't do that very well. Binge worthy wasn't really the answer in Jessica Jones season 2. But as far as Daredevil seasons, Jessica Jones season 1, and Luke Cage season 1, this definitely kept me on my feet and wanting to watch each episode back to back to back. So overall, I say you don't lose any brain cells watching it. Please, if you are a fan of the first season, you're going to enjoy this season. I don't think it's better than the last season, but I do think it's equal. And I know there's a couple articles out there stating that, how does it stack up to Wakanda? Well, we have to face it. These are two different types of movies, two different types of entertainment. You have television, you have movies. Movie, you have to try to get the audience very quickly in a 2-hour span. This one, you have a little bit more time for storytelling, so I don't think it should be judged or, criticized for how well Black Panther did. But I do think there's certain elements that came into play that you can do on a television show, like villains. I think Netflix does a very great job with Marvel villains. If I look at the movie side, they've only done a couple villains right. Killmonger, Loki, Magneto, that's about it. But on this side, on the television side, we've seen Netflix crank out a lot of good villains like Cottonmouth, Kingpin, so on, Purple Man, and now we can add Bushmaster to the list because you understand why he does it, and that's the thing with a villain you want to get. You want to understand why they're doing this and can I agree with it. Now some of the things that he does is a little savage, but you kind of understand when you get his side of the story. You kind of understand like, okay, I understand why. And you get the same thing with Black Maria, Alfre Woodard's character. You get to see a little bit more into her past, and now you understand like, oh, okay, this is why she is. And we were getting a little close to some Tyler Perry stuff, but they didn't go that far. So again, hats off to Luke Cage season 2. Please check it out on Netflix. It's available now. Definitely binge worthy. Sit back, enjoy, and I'll talk to y'all later. Geek Philosophy, Geek Way of Thinking. Have a great day, y'all. Bye.
Thank you for stopping by Geek Philosophy. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button, put your philosophies in the comments, and also hit that subscribe button so you can be notified of all future videos. Thanks for stopping by Geek Philosophy, the Geek Way of Thinking.